Imagine living in a time when every human gaze transmitted violence. Every intention, every plan, every desire corrupted. Humanity had become an enemy of good, indifferent to truth, surrendered to destruction. But in the midst of darkness, one man lived differently. His name was Noah. This is not just a story about a boat and animals. It's the story of the clash between judgment and mercy, of the collapse of a world and the rise of a new beginning. Let's explore the most striking moments of this journey, real events that still echo today. Before the flood, the world was at the height of its decadence. There was advancement in culture, civilization, and technology, but the human heart was in ruins. Violence, perversion, and arrogance filled the earth. Wickedness wasn't just an occasional act, it was a way of life. People lived as if nothing would ever happen. They married, ate, built, ignoring the fact that divine justice had already been declared. And in that setting, God decided to act, not impulsively, but with sorrow. He chose to end what was already destroying itself from within. Noah, however, was an exception, a righteous man in a corrupted generation. He didn't just believe in God. He walked with Him. His life was a silent sermon. While everyone followed the crowd, he followed the voice of heaven. Then came the call. God shared with Noah His plan of destruction and salvation. He was to build an ark, a colossal structure with impressive dimensions, capable of housing his family and representatives of all animal species. But think about it. It had never rained before. The concept of a flood was unthinkable. The construction took decades. As he cut wood and sealed beams, Noah also faced mockery, isolation, exhaustion, and the silence of a world that scoffed at the idea of judgment. The ark was not just a project. It was a sermon. Every hammer strike was a warning. Every exact measure was an act of faith. The ark was over 130 meters long, nearly 1.5 football fields, 3 stories high, a divine engineering plan entrusted to a common man. And he built it without machines, without modern technology, only with faith, rustic tools, and perseverance. There was no fame, only dust. No help, only ridicule. Every board raised was a victory over the world's disbelief. While everyone laughed, he obeyed. And so, salvation began to take shape. Then, the day came. Noah and his family entered the ark. The animals came 2 by 2, obeying an invisible command. And then, the door closed, not by Noah, but by God. Soon, the skies broke open. The earth split apart. Water fell from above and burst from below. The old world was submerged. Every certainty was swept away. All that was pride, security, and power vanished. Those who mocked ran, but the ark was already closed. There was no going back. This was not just a natural disaster. It was the judgment of a holy God, and also the clear separation between those who trusted and those who ignored. The flood lasted 40 days, but Noah and his family stayed inside the ark for over a year. Imagine the darkness, the constant sound of water, daily coexistence with wild animals, the uncertainty of what was outside. Can you imagine the smell, the humidity, the routine inside that sealed structure? With each passing day, doubt might have crept in. Has God forgotten us? The nights were long, the sounds unfamiliar, and there were no windows to the future. But true faith does not depend on explanations. It rests on trust. Noah didn't sail with a compass. He sailed with hope. That time in the ark wasn't just physical preservation. It was a test of faith. The prolonged wait was also a process of transformation. God didn't just destroy the world. He was preparing something new. Noah didn't receive explanations for every step, but he trusted. The time of silence is often the time when God works most deeply. And there, in the midst of the outer chaos, there was peace, because God was with them. Finally, the ark came to rest. The waters receded. The land appeared. Life, which seemed forgotten, began to be reborn. Upon leaving the ark, Noah didn't rush to explore or build. His first act was to raise an altar. Before restarting, he recognized. Before planting, he worshiped. Gratitude came before action. And there, God made a promise. He established a covenant, never again to destroy the earth with a flood. And as a visible sign of that promise, he placed the bow in the clouds, not as a mere visual effect, but as an eternal reminder of his mercy. The rainbow was, and still is, a sign that even when everything collapses, God still plans restoration. Noah's story is about judgment, but also about rescue, about destruction, but also about new beginnings. It shows us that God is patient, but not indifferent, that true faith requires action, even when no one else understands, that salvation is offered, but must be received before the door closes. Noah saved his household by faith. He was called crazy for years, but entered history as someone who believed and acted. Today, we live in similar days, indifference, mockery, decay, but there is also an ark, and it has a name. There is a path to salvation, and it is still open. The question is, are you building with God or ignoring the call? What did you think about Noah's story? Did it make you reflect on faith, obedience, and new beginnings? If this message touched your heart, let us know in the comments. Like this video, follow Verse Within, and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any of our next messages. Noah stood firm when the world turned away. And today, you can choose to walk with God too. Thank you for watching. God bless you.